It's a new year. Let's do this. As always, follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X. And follow me at Lielers on TikTok. Lielers on TikTok. I haven't posted anything so far this year. I'm trying to find out something interesting to watch or something to stitch, but it'll come soon. Just make sure to follow me, of course. And then we have some amazing news. Before we start the show, I am happy to announce that the Thoughts of Lielers is available on multiple platforms, of course. But we are also celebrating 3 years, 3 years of me doing this podcast. Can you believe it? I remember when I first started, obviously, you're more than welcome to listen to the first episode. You can actually tell how, like, shy or probably, like, not as confident at first until, like, little by little I finally got that confidence, and now I'm just like, all right, I'm here to stay. But yeah, I can't believe it's been 3 years. We started the podcast in 2021, and it was just basically more like a blog for me, a hobby that I wanted to do. And then I remember literally I was so excited to do it that I had to like post every single day with new episodes. But of course, as I graduated community college and actually started going to an actual university, it started getting a little bit hectic for me. And it took a while for me to actually start uploading consistent. Obviously, we're trying to be consistent now where we get a new episode every week. So, but I am happy to celebrate 3 years. So make sure you guys are listening to the new episodes, whether if you're listening either on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeart, Odyssey, and other platforms that you listen your podcast at. If anything, if there's not a platform for you, obviously we are available on YouTube. I upload these episodes on there for your convenience. But let's go ahead and get this show started. So I've been getting a bunch of shit on my For You page on TikTok. And if it's not on TikTok, it's also on Instagram. But most primarily is me trying to understand what in the hell is going on with this Stanley Cup craze. Okay, so the reason why I say that is because I've been seeing a lot of videos on my For You page of these people lining up on Target preparing for the release of the Valentine's edition Stanley Cups. And I've seen these things, and I am a woman, I just don't act like it. I'm a tomboy, okay? So for me to jump in that craze is not for me. And from what I've noticed is basically the marketing team on Stanley is basically targeting these women to buy all that kind of, like either collectors, limited edition, Stanley Cups. So, because everybody's doing it. And if it's not just their marketing team, obviously we have social media influencers that are trying to get everybody on the boat. Sorry, I don't even own a Stanley Cup. So I'm like, I'm not going to jump in that craze whatsoever. But my thing is that, like, I've seen the design, and, I feel like these people, want, like, the bigger the cup, the better. But my thing is that, like, some of these women that purchase these cups don't even finish drinking whatever's inside of it. We've seen so many, like, tumbler craze, I would say. Obviously we started with the Yetis. The Yetis are obviously the same as the Stanleys, they're insulated cups and whatnot. But then there was the Starbucks cups too. So, like, Starbucks have their designs and they sell it for really expensive, but they do come out with, like, limited edition stuff, whether if it's during the holidays or just celebrating a month, whatever it is. I also did know that Stanley did collaborate with Starbucks to release some of these, like, limited edition cups. But if you ask me, I feel like every single human individual has a certain collecting hobby, if you would just say. Yes, I do categorize myself either a hoarder or a collector, but mostly a hoarder at this point. I don't consider myself a collector, but we have men who like to collect, let's say, fandom things, whether if it's on sports or comic books, you know, and this is where I, classify myself. But there's comic books, we have Funko Pops, we have, whatever the hell movies, like movies, video games, whatever it is, they like people collect them all. Women, unfortunately, and I'm just saying your average woman tends to collect tumblers. So I'm not trying to hate on anything, but at the same time, I'm just like, is there anything else a woman can collect? Of course, I've seen other people purchase like Pioneer Woman stuff from Walmart, or whatever the hell is going on, but it's mostly specific to tumblers. And the way, again, the way the Stanleys are designed, and I think they're called the thirst quenchers. They're like a 40-ounce tumblers with a handler. I mean, for me, honestly, in my personal opinion, I would like to own one, but again, I'm like, am I gonna use it? No. And then sometimes the designs just don't fit well with my taste, obviously, because I'm not like the ordinary women. I have to have a single, like every single color of a Stanley Cup. Some people have the rainbow already at this point, and the ones that came out in Valentine's Day were like red or pink. I don't like either colors, But for me specifically, it has to be filled with so many designs in order for me to purchase one. If Stanley ever does come out with like a Halloween edition, maybe a Nightmare Before Christmas edition, because I love Nightmare Before Christmas, like a Halloween themed Stanley Cup, maybe, depending on the price, because I'm also cheap as hell. And speaking of just like the design itself, for those that do not know, I am from Texas. The reason why I say this is I live in what I call Texan culture, and in that Texan culture involves places, worshiping places like HEB, Whataburger, and of course Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is known to be having like the largest gas station you could ever visit. Kind of pays like homage to the slang that we have in Texas. Everything's bigger with Texas. So that's what Buc-ee's is. And the reason why I mentioned this is, Buc-ee's is not just notorious for having a large gas station. They sell merchandise, to, I guess, promote their brand and whatnot. And, same thing. Every month they release like different kinds of shirts with different designs, and that falls into the category for people that collect things. So there's a lot of Texans that like to collect Buc-ee's merchandise. With that being said, is I also saw a video that Buc-ee's released their version of a Stanley Cup. It goes by the brand called Yukon Outfitters. It's spelled YUKON. And with that being said, is they've been releasing this Valentine's theme cup that looks like a Stanley, but it's not. And people were just lined up again at a certain date and time. I believe it was at 10 a.m. And I'm not sure exactly what day it was, but I saw somebody post their video on TikTok of the line, and one of the employees actually gave that person the heads up so they can get, the cup. And basically it's a white cup, again, 40-ounce thirst quencher, kind of just like the Stanley, but this one is not just a simple color. It has its designs. It has obviously the Buc-ee's Bieber that we've seen in the gas station. There's a bunch of hearts all over it, and God knows what, but it was a Valentine's theme. Now for me personally, again, if Buc-ee's were to release one that has Halloween theme, I will probably purchase it, and that will be my first ever 40-ounce tumbler. And they did release a Halloween theme tumbler. It was a 32-ounce, which I did have. It's just a regular tumbler, and again, it's by the brand Yukon Outfitters. Now that one is more understandably for Craze, but these Stanleys, they're just plain. I mean, I don't understand it. Maybe because, again, I'm just a tomboy, and so maybe I will never understand. So I'm over here like, at this point, let me just say my piece with it. Do you guys follow the Stanley craze? Let me know. If you're listening under Spotify, I'm obviously going to leave the Q&A. If you're listening on YouTube, you're more than welcome to leave your answer under the comments. If you're listening on elsewhere, let me know on social media at It's Lielers on Instagram and at Lielers on TikTok. Now, let's go ahead and move it along. And I remember I was just talking about Valentine's Day. Speaking of Valentine's Day, There's also like a little announcement or like a little news thing that they released, and I also found out because we're actually living in the complicated era, meaning that a lot of people are not into serious relationships. We just all want to have a good time. Why am I saying this? Is because I saw a picture from the brand called Sweethearts. They're the ones that released their like yearly conversation hearts. They're just hard candy, and people share them for Valentine's Day. But because we are living in that complicated era, they decided to launch their quote situationship boxes, meaning that these candies are going to be different than the ones they usually release, which is basically blurry and misprinted for the people that are not ready for a serious relationship slash commitment. Now, it is intentional, but then again, I'm just like, I remember I got a box of sweethearts and they were still blurry, but they were in situationships. So I don't know what the whole deal of that is. But and it's not just that, like capitalism really just it hit home when I tell you about the complicated era. Like if you were to go to Walmart, I haven't seen this because I don't step foot in Walmart, but I have seen videos where as soon as we hit or we entered the new year, already like Walmart has started, stocking up their Valentine's Day merchandise, and it's like breakup theme, like breakup bears or, breakup chocolates, whatever the hell is, they're selling it because a lot of people just don't want to be in that serious relationship during Valentine's Day. And I'm over here like, what in the hell? But I mean, it's understandable, because nowadays, like, it's not just Gen Z, we're already going to Gen Alpha, but I feel like Gen Z nowadays is just like we just want to have fun, and it's very understandable. Millennials nowadays, they probably settled down, but maybe the majority also just said, you know what, I'm independent, I don't need no man, and I feel like that's, millennials mentality. Gen Z, however, is just like we're just here for fun. It's understandable. I mean, we're in our 20s, and I say we because technically I'm a zillennial. I already found the official term for it. I'm a zillennial, meaning that I am in between millennials and Gen Z because there is no defined ending period for both millennials and the beginning year of Gen Z. So I just call myself a zillennial. But yeah, like we're on our 20s, and yes, I am in my 20s still. But we're in our 20s. We're just, trying to have a good time, trying to figure out what we want in life, and then later on we'll settle down. But it's like, who's to say that we need to settle down in our 20s when we can just do that in our 30s? At this point, the 30s are the new 20s, and basically the 20s at this point you can consider yourself a teenager, except with more freedom. Then of course the 40s are the new 30s, where people are already settling down at that time. Hell, there's parents that are barely having their first kids like at close to their 40s, so it's like, who's to say, who's to define this kind of moment? Am I right or am I wrong? Anywho, so let's go ahead and move it along. Really quick before we actually dive into the whole entertainment news. This is kind of entertainment, but not really, because it's all about bathwater. For those who are fans of Nate Jacobs from Euphoria, or Jacob Elordi, the actor himself, apparently it is said that they are releasing like his bath water made out of a candle from the movie Saltborn that he did. Now, for me, I'm just like, what is this obsession with this man? I mean, what's going on? And it's just not even that. There's a TikTok account from Mr. Consistent _. He also created a Jacob Elordi's bathwater cocktail. And I'm just like, well, what? I'm like, what is going on? Why do people want to either smell or taste what this bath water is? It's like, it's just a man, guys. But again, y'all have some weird obsession for it to go to that point, I don't know what it is, but it's out for sale. The cocktail itself is available on that TikTok account, so y'all can definitely go check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about movies. Of course, for those that do not know, we have the Steamboat Willie's Mickey Mouse version already expired a copyright. So because of this expiration date, now anybody is free to use that character specifically, not the current Disney or Mickey Mouse that we have seen right now. I'm talking about like the very first version of Mickey Mouse. Now, when I say this, and I'm pretty sure y'all already heard about it, now that this copyright expired and it has entered the public domain, we are getting a ton of entertainment, starting with a Mickey Mouse horror film. What do Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse have in common? Death. And it's crazy because I heard that the Winnie the Pooh movie is getting a sequel. And if it does get a sequel, I'm gonna laugh if it gets released during the time that Mickey Mouse horror film gets out. Like, what in the heck are we going through? These times are just very odd. I feel like 2024 is gonna be a very odd year, and we're already getting there. Not only the horror film's gonna be released, already there is a trailer for this film, and to include as well, there's also a horror survival game in the works that is going to be called Infestation Origins. Now, this one is basically, I think you're going to be able to play with a group of friends, and your job is to kill, obviously, the infestation. But one of the rats apparently mutated into this very deformed Steamboat Willie's Mickey Mouse. And it's very creepy. I've seen the images, and I'm just like, I'm not playing this, but I will see the walkthrough if Markiplier decides to play it, because he's into that kind of stuff. So I'm just saying, what else are they going to be coming up with? I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, well, besides like fan made merch and whatnot, but I don't know what else they could actually make with Mickey Mouse. The horror part already was like, wow. If that's happening, I don't know what else is going to come out that's going to surprise me. Anywho, speaking of movies, I also found out that there's going to be a live action Minecraft movie that's already in development. I'm like, hold up, since when? The worst part for me that I didn't know is that there has been confirmations that Jason Momoa is going to be in this movie. And also Emma Myers from Wednesday, Daniel Brooks. But then it has also been announced that Jack Black has recently joined the film. So I'm over here like, what in the hell? I don't know what to expect. Honestly, just the fact that Jason Momoa is going to be in here and Jack Black, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what is Jack Black even going to play? Is he going to be like an Enderman, or I don't even know. I can't even think to imagine what could possibly be in here. But honestly, if once the movie does get released, I'll probably wait like a couple of days for me to watch it, because I'm pretty sure the kids are going to be watching that movie. And then Minecraft is going to be relevant again. So yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it and then maybe review it. But yeah, y'all have been warned. Remember how I also mentioned that Steven Yeun was casted in the upcoming movie for Marvel's Thunderbolts? Well, that's not happening, and he actually left. He actually said he was sorry, it's unfortunate. But for me personally, I'm over here like, maybe something happened. What's going on in Marvel that I don't know about? Obviously, we already know that Marvel's going downhill. I mean, at this point, I'm just like, it is what it is. Will this movie be a success even though Steven Yeun is not in there? Me, in my personal opinion, as long as anybody, like the other people that we have seen already in previous Marvel projects, do not leave, all is well. I haven't seen Steven Yeun in any other Marvel project, so who knows what will happen. But me, I'm like, I have no hope for Marvel right now. It's like, I'm telling you, they're going downhill. In television news, this is a big rumor. It has not have been confirmed, but I saw it on my TikTok, and I'm a fan of Sons of Anarchy, so I gotta talk about it. So there's a TikTok account called Sons of Anarchy 7_ that released what appears to be a rumor of Charlie Hunnam thinking about bringing back the show. And here are some of the details that this person said. Now, it says that it can go two ways. Either number one, and this is what it says on the account, They say they start off the show with Jax waking up from a nightmare and he realizes that Gemma Teller's still alive and whatever happened in the last episode did not happen. They will continue the show from there for 5 or 6 episodes from there, and it will be a different ending than to the show that will leave a spin-off of Abel and Thomas. Me personally, I'm like, so what? Are y'all just trying to reboot the last season? I think it was season 7. I don't remember. But it looks like that they're trying to reboot the last season. And, me personally, I'm like, I've seen it. Do I agree with it? Well, let's see what number 2 says. Number 2 says they are thinking about doing a contingency, meaning that we never saw Jax Teller die and that we will start the show with Jax being in a coma, and then once he's out of the hospital, he ends up going to jail for 15 years. 15 years later, Jax gets out of prison and his sons are there waiting to see him, along with the club members, and that they were still alive in the last episode. Marcus Alvarez, which is an ex-member of the Mayans, and he decides to join the Sons of Anarchy. Then it will be a new season of Abel and Thomas following their father's footsteps and be a part of the club, and it will just continue from there. We get to watch Abel and Thomas grow up. Now, I'm like, okay, so I see what this person's trying to say. So basically is, if this was true, then that means Charlie Hunnam is trying to get, like a spin-off show for the Sons of Jack Teller. But for me, I'm like, if that were to be the case, I mean, thinking about season 7 and basically the show itself, for those that have not watched the series, basically Jax Teller is trying to end Sons of Anarchy, or probably move it into a different direction than what it was already going to in the beginning of the first season. Now, if that were the case, then there wouldn't be a possibility of, his sons, Abel and Thomas, following his father's footsteps, but I mean, at the same time, I'm like, it would also make sense because once season 7 ended, the Sons of Anarchy, or, Sam Crow, is already going into a whole different direction than what it was in season 1, where now it's more like legit business. They're doing like the porn, and they're also doing like the ice cream shop, stuff that is legal for them, compared to season 1, 2, and so forth was all about guns and all of that, and it was like all gang rivalry and whatnot. So it's like, it was dangerous, but I'm just like, I don't know, like, for them to reboot season 7, I feel like there were some things I didn't agree with, but at the same time, it wouldn't make sense for it to be on the storyline if it didn't happen. So I'm just like, we will see. The way how this person said it, it's, definitely a rumor. It's a possibility. But if they want to reboot season 7, or, the very last season, by all means, go for it, But anywho, that was what I have for TV news. Now for music news, I have 2. One of them, of course, more Slipknot drama. But it's not really Slipknot drama. It's Corey Taylor drama. For those that do not know, Corey Taylor posted on his social media that he had to cancel his North American tour to focus on his mental health. Now, I'm sorry. I love Corey Taylor. I don't care all the shebang that happened with Slipknot and whatnot. But my thing is that as soon as I saw the post, my brain went, to the comedic section of me, not taking anything serious. So I do apologize, Corey. But my thing is that, like, when I saw the post, I thought he kicked himself out of the band. He fired someone, whatever the hell, is because of the memes, okay? But this is a serious matter. What he posted is serious. And I do wish him the best. So it's not deleted, and I hate the fact that he also didn't disable the comments to, make matters better. Instead, it's just getting worse, because the comment section of this post, again, everybody likes to be a comedic, just did not help the situation that Corey is going through. Now, I will read the whole post at its entirety. And it says, quote, "It is with a heavy heart that I announce the cancellation of my upcoming North American tour. For the past several months, my mental and physical health have been breaking down, and I reached a place that was unhealthy for my family and I. I know this decision will come to a shock to some and may be regarded as an unpopular by others. But after taking the hard look of where I am and where I was going, I need to pull myself back and be home with my family for the time being. Those of you who bought my tickets and VIP packages for this upcoming run will get a full refund. I send my love to my fans, my band, my family, and my friends, and everyone who's helped me get here thus far. I promise I'm doing everything I can to be as healthy as I can be. Until then, my apologies to everyone we will have seen on the tour, and hopefully we'll see you again down the line. Corey Taylor. Now, I know the history of Corey. I know he's been going through in the past years, because I listen to Slipknot. I know that history. Now, for him to, again, take time off to focus on his mental health is very, very much needed because he has suffered through so many dark moments, especially, to the part, if you guys do not know, he was also close to committing suicide, and I did see a comment on that post where somebody did say, sometimes we all wish, Chester Bennington from Linkin Park would have taken that time off and he would still be around. And I think that's one of the biggest things that band members should have, is taking time off to focus on their mental health, because at times do get stressful. But I feel like, when Corey did say that, he's been dealing with this for the past months, I believe, personally, again, it might not be true, but this is my personal opinion. I believe that the reason why he's going through so much stress is because, of course, what happened with Jay Weinberg from whenever, Slipknot decided to part ways with him. And, again, ever since then, of course, people who did not agree with the decision started bashing, on Corey's account. Slipknot, finally activated their comment section, and of course, everybody started hating on there. I go through the Discord channel. I have a Discord that I follow Slipknot on, and same thing. People comment, like, make little emojis that spell out J, but I don't think they're able to, bash out on it. Now, my thing is that, again, ever since then, I feel like it became too much for Corey. And, again, it's very understandable. And I feel like sometimes the memes kind of need to die down, especially when we're trying to keep a band member alive. Because I feel like, obviously band members, musicians, whatever the thing is, their history is not really that good. Obviously, we had so many band members that we lost. Of course, on Slipknot, we lost Paul Gray, we lost Joey Jordison. I mentioned Chester Bennington, and of course, more notoriously, same thing with Nirvana with Kurt Cobain. I feel like with these moments, I feel like we should just appreciate that they're focusing on their health. Again, I wish Corey the best, and I didn't buy tickets for the North American tour, because I don't think I have time for it right now. So it doesn't come to a shock for me, or like it doesn't feel like an inconvenience for me. If anything, I'm just happy that he is taking that time off. So wish Corey well, be positive with him. And of course, I would suggest just leave his wife out of it. I know she gets pissed off. I'm telling you, these people, they're grown to hate so much, whether they're fans or whatever. These people will still hate you if you disrespect them. So, of course, leave Alicia Taylor out of this. Do not ask about Corey, because she ain't going to give you that information. If you're going to say best wishes, I'm pretty sure she's going to see it, but she's not going to do anything about it. If anything, she just hates it that people just want to talk about her husband and not about her career. And I see it in everybody, whether, you're doing your own project and it's like, oh, they know you for something else that's not you. Like, it's very understandable. So, I mean, again, best wishes about Corey. Now, and it's interesting enough that we're talking about, musicians going through all of this. Another thing that happened on social media, but it's not directly at, rock band members. This also goes with Britney Spears. Pop musician Britney Spears made an announcement that she is done with the music industry. And the moment she said that, she also made like a few comments saying that she has been ghostwriting for people, that, she loves just writing songs just for random people, and having fun with it. The moment she made those comments, her Instagram just magically disappeared. Believe she deactivated, obviously. But at the same time, it's like, this is what I mean about mental health. It's not just rock, it's also, no matter what genre it is, musicians do have a toll with their mental health. And I don't know if it's because, again, it's like that work life balance kind of in a way, but I feel like with Britney is even more reasons. She's like the prime example of going through mental health. Obviously, we've seen her having that mental breakdown, back in what, 2006, I think it was. I was still a teenager when that happened, so I don't exactly remember the year. But it's like we didn't know what it was. We thought she was done for, she was going insane. But in reality, it was just a cry for help because of, she was being managed by her parents or her dad, whatever. And then she really didn't have that freedom to say anything about, her choices. So for her to say that, I feel like because of the music industry, they're probably doing that same thing. Even though she has her freedom, I'm pretty sure they're still trying to control her. And she just said, you know what, fuck y'all. Y'all are not the boss of me. I am the boss of me. And if she says she's done, good for her, I'm pretty sure all the fans, Britney fans are probably sad and disappointed. But again, you just got to put yourself in the shoes of these people. They're not freaking robots. They're humans, for Pete's sakes. What we go through, they go through. Just because they have, more money, a level of fame, doesn't mean that they're immune to all the problems in the world. They do go through it, And again, hats off to Corey, hats off to Britney. Thank God for them that they're still up and going, because at the end of the day, we just don't want to hear another tragedy. And of course, we don't want to start 2024 with tragedy. If anything, just celebrate that it's good news, They're taking care of themselves. Hooray. At the end of the day, I'm just happy for them. And if with Britney, obviously, I the only thing I could say about it is just leave Britney alone with the whole meme that we had back in the days with Chris Crocker. I still cannot believe. See, and I remember that. I remember that. I remember the guy's name, but I don't remember the year that the incident when Britney Spears happened. But oh well. Anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. I do have a few gaming news, and then obviously we're going to end it with some wrestling news. We have a ton of wrestling stuff. So, for gaming, I don't know if you guys knew, but I found out that, if you guys have not heard of, Xbox released like their Xbox Series X like mini fridge that was up for sale like what, 2 years ago, last year, I want to say. I didn't get my hands on it, but I've seen it one time and I was so close to buy it, but then again, I put it in my head that I don't have space to buy anything, therefore I didn't buy it. Plus, it's a small mini fridge. I can only put like 6 cans of Coke and that's it. But because of this mini fridge being a success, Xbox actually released, I don't even know why they released it, but again, they released a Xbox Series S toaster. And it is available for purchase now. And I'm over here like, why a toaster? Like, you could have just made something else, like a waffle maker. See, and that's where the collecting part of me will go in and be like, okay, I got the fridge. What's next? The waffle maker. Oh, and while you're at it, get me some pans too, Xbox. I would like to cook my eggs with the X logo and then just be like, here you go, guys. Eggs a la Xbox. I don't know. Me personally, like, I don't know what's going across with Xbox. I feel like they're trying to make money besides on the gaming itself. But I don't know, cooking supplies, I don't know, kitchen appliances, again, I don't know. I don't know what they're going through, but I'm over here like, hey, Sony, just saying. I wouldn't be opposed on same thing, kitchen appliances, PlayStation style. If you guys were to be making those PlayStation skillets again, here you guys go, eggs a la PlayStation. I would not be opposed to that, but I don't know. I don't know if they're ever gonna make another thing again, because I mean we already have the 2 series for Xbox. We have the S and the X. So I'm like, unless if they make a controller theme or God knows what else they would make. Headphones, God knows. I don't know. My brain is starting to go somewhere that it doesn't need to go, but we will see. But yeah, that toaster is available for purchase. So if you guys are interested in buying it, collecting it, go for it. Another thing I also found out, PlayStation released like a real advertising of their upcoming um video games that are going to be coming out this year. Now, it has been teased that Silent Hill 2 remake is going to happen. And here we go again with the whole, like, I'm telling you guys, we're getting a lot of reboots on these video games. It's like, what is new? But Silent Hill reboot, I mean, I guess. Am I a fan of Silent Hill? Of course, I've seen the movie, I've seen the video games. Me personally, I'm not a fan. Only whenever it's foggy outside, then I'll just be like, what in the Silent Hill is this? Other than that, I'm like, just another horror game. That's it. What's new? We need new video games, like really good ass video games that we don't need to be continuing off. Me personally, I'm just like, I'm looking for something to just wow me. I'm waiting for Bethesda to release something good. I'm waiting for, again, Sony or PlayStation to release something exclusive to them. But it's just not there. And now we just gotta wait, guys. But anywho, let's go ahead and move it along with a bunch of wrestling news. Starting off, of course, I mentioned on the last episode that Triple H did tease that we were gonna be getting a surprise former WWE champion. Now, obviously, I don't know if that kind of helped the views or whatnot, but I was ready to see who it was, and I did say who potentially could have been. A lot of people were already putting their predictions of who would be that person appearing. And again, I was just like, why are we focusing on men? We should focus on women. But of course, that was not the case. It was a man that showed up. Now, this whole segment was kind of sad and dirty at the same time, and the reason why I say this is because they did say, Triple H did say he will not confirm or deny, but they were making a promotion out of it, like, like saying, oh, stay tuned, when we come back from Raw, we will see the former WWE champion and this and that. And, same thing, like right as soon as the person was going to walk out, we have the ring announcer, Samantha Irvin, saying, and now, you're the former WWE. And I'm just like, really, who the fuck is it? Like at this point, I already knew. The more they promoted, my hopes started going down. I'm like, no, it's not, nobody going to be good. And you could just see the whole crowd just getting prepared with their phones saying, all right, who is it? Who is it? Like really crowd, but still. And Jinder Mahal comes out. And Jinder Mahal is a former WWE champion. But the way, the disappointment in the crowd, like, it was so loud. And I'm just like, bro, not trying to be like a bitch or anything, but damn, like, these people were not happy that it was Jinder Mahal. Like, and my thing is that, like, Jinder Mahal was a really good villain. I did not like him, obviously, when he was a champion. But that was the thing. He really did make himself look good as a villain. Now, for him to come out and the crowd was just like, oh, ew, whatever. I'm like, really, guys? Like, put some respect on the man. Imagine him as a human, like... Or put yourselves in the shoes of Jinder Mahal, and imagine you walking out in a company that you love and appreciate, but everybody starts booing you. Like, really? They did Jinder Mahal dirty, but I don't know. Maybe he was all for it, or maybe he volunteered himself saying, I want the attention. I don't know what it is, but again, for me, the way how I saw it, it was dirty. And of course, Jinder Mahal does what Jinder Mahal does best, talk. And the reason why I say this is because he was talking for, I don't even know how long. It felt like a fucking eternity for me personally, because it was stuff that I didn't care for. And of course, for him, it was mostly like people just him bashing on people, just saying, oh, well, you're not what I expected, right? This and that. I can feel your disappointment, yada, yada, yada. And it was just nonsense. It was nonsense, and I was bored, and I'm just like, already on TikTok, that's the thing. WWE sometimes does fail to grab my attention. And I feel like it's my ADHD kicking in, where it's just like I cannot focus on things. But this segment was hella boring. Why I say that is because, again, I feel like he was talking for like 5-10 minutes straight, just bullshit, trying to, get the crowd all pissed off. But it probably might have been like maybe a minute or two. Again, it felt like an eternity. And then we get the surprise, I guess, that everybody was waiting, until we finally hear the person's theme song, and it was The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Rocky himself. And he comes out, and the crowd started freaking out, which, again, the reason why I say that in the way I say it, like the way how my tone is because he is the people's champ. We love him. But again, I don't know if you guys remember on my previous episodes, I cannot take an actor going back to a wrestler series. I cannot do that for The Rock. I cannot do that for John Cena. Maybe Batista, but not so much. I just can't take them serious, because now it's like, bro, you're acting and it shows. Like, you can see it. And The Rock, I mean, I respect the guy. I have no hate for him. He has like skinny pigs that I support and everything, and I follow him on social media. But again, him coming back as a wrestler is just like, I cannot. Okay, let's see what you got. And same thing, it was just a talking segment. Me, honestly, I'm just like, bro, if you're here, there's a possibility you're just appearing. Like, I was expecting like a former wrestler saying that, all right, I'm in WWE, let's go ahead and wrestle. And The Rock is just not it. You would consider him a part-timer, obviously, just like John Cena, because Homeboy is like one of the highest paid actors. And I'm pretty sure he has already like movie projects coming up. So I'm over here like, ain't no way The Rock is gonna come here like full time. Ain't no way. But he's over there talking, and again, it was like, it felt like an eternity, because I feel like it was like 3 minutes long. And then after that, we see just a little fighting segment between him and Jinder Mahal. And afterwards, then The Rock says, oh, hey, because they were in San Diego, and he's over there saying, I'm gonna go out, grab a beer. Where should I sit? And I'm over here like, boy, you better not be prolonging this damn segment for I don't know how long. Get to the fucking point. But he's over there like, where should I sit? Should I sit at a booth? Should I sit at the bar? Or should I sit at the head of the table? And then I'm like, what? That's where I was like, oh, okay. All right. I see you there. For those that do not know, Homeboy literally just threw Roman Reigns in there in the topic. And again, if you don't know the family history, The Rock, or Dwayne Johnson, is cousins with Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, so forth. Same thing with Nia Jax, Tamina, and I don't know who else. I'm putting so many, and of course like Umaga and God knows what. There's that whole family tree is so big. But yes, The Rock is cousins with, or I think I want to say cousins. Yeah, they're cousins with Roman. So for this to go down, it's like, oh, like it's personal in a way. And my thing is that like The Rock obviously has history, and Roman same thing. But it's like, I cannot see this go down positively, because again, I know The Rock has so many upcoming projects movie wise. Ain't no way Homeboy can defeat Roman Reigns for that WWE champion. Ain't no way. It has to be, again, like, forget the title. Who's gonna be like at the head of the table? Like this whole segment with, like Roman Reigns being the tribal chief, again, calling himself the head of the table and all of that. It can be like, well, he's the one saying, like, he's calling the shots and The Rock has to follow, when it should be the other way around. So this is like a family kind of matter thing. Do not involve the WWE championship, or for to say. So for me to see that, and I'm just like, wait a second. we already have so many other storylines coming up that does not involve The Rock. And these are going straight for Roman. You know, we got CM Punk that just came back. Cody Rhodes wants to finish the story. So we're over here like, who in the hell is gonna go up against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? And, you know, for me to hear that with The Rock challenging Roman, it's like, oh shit, maybe we might get these two for WrestleMania. But what's gonna happen with these two, you know? So it's like, what, like, I'm conflicted. I'm trying to figure it out. And then next thing you know, we also have this whole four-way match that's gonna be happening at Royal Rumble with Roman Reigns. And again, it's gonna be Randy Orton, it's gonna be LA Knight, it's gonna be AJ Styles going up against Roman Reigns, and you know, like, for the championship. So I'm just like, what's, like, I'm over here like trying to puzzle everything, me thinking I could predict these matches, but right now it's like I cannot predict it because the chances are really high for Roman for this, or they're actually, the chances are really low for Roman, especially when it's three technically against him, and everybody's gonna try to see how to get Roman pinned for that champion. And yet you have this other storyline with The Rock. So it's like, what in the like, me, I'm trying to figure this out. Now, I did hear that apparently The Rock and Roman Reigns were supposed to battle for the head of the table last year, and it was scheduled for this whole thing to happen in December. But I'm not saying 2023. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm talking about last year in 2022. But for some reason it got scrapped. And honestly, 2 years ago, I can't believe I'm saying that. 2 years ago would have been convenient because we didn't have, well, we had Cody, but at the same time, it's like CM Punk was still at AEW. So it's like, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I really don't know. And I feel like personally the fans do want that. They want The Rock going up against Roman. But there's other people that, again, they want Cody to finish his story. And it might be with Roman Reigns. But then again, it could be Seth Rollins, but it couldn't. Oh, and then don't even get me started with Damian Priest. Damian Priest still has the money in the bank. The homeboy still hasn't even successfully cashed in. Would this actually happen in Royal Rumble? I don't think so. I feel like he's going to pull a Seth Rollins. He's going to do the same thing that Seth Rollins did to Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns when he cashed in at WrestleMania. I feel like that's what Damian is waiting for. And I'm over here like, I'm telling you, there's so many storylines that could happen. And it's sad because I have to wait, less than 4 months, because it's usually like the first weekend of April. But still, I'm just like, I cannot wait that long. Like, literally, WrestleMania is going to be interesting. I love it, but I can't wait for it, you know? Another thing, and I just talked about Money in the Bank. Papa H made an announcement that Money in the Bank is going to be taking place in Toronto, Canada. So I'm like, if they're already making announcements for Money in the Bank, again, Damian Priest is so close to cashing in that Money in the Bank. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it successfully again. And what I mean by that is he actually cashes in, but he loses. It's a scary thought out there, but he has been holding that briefcase for so long. The possibility is that chance is going to be like him winning at this point. But I'm like, it's going to happen soon. We only have this pay-per-view, and I think we still have one more pay-per-view left before WrestleMania. So I think it's Royal Rumble, and if I'm not mistaken, the next one might be Elimination Chamber. I think. I might be mistaken. But I'm over here like, I'm waiting, you know. I'm very, very excited for this. Speaking of Papa H, he actually posted on his social media, and he said, quote, "Look at this photograph. Homeboy took a picture of Chad Kroger, however you want to pronounce it." And, you know, again, if you didn't know, Nickelback has done a theme for Raw before. But I'm over here like, what is he doing over here? But then again, it's San Diego. But I just love this little reunion that they had, and the way how Triple H just said that. I'm like, really? I love it. Another thing, and this is something happening with CM Punk. I feel like CM Punk is always in the news now because he's been back at WWE and everybody's just watching his every move. But right now he's been winning hearts. He's been like doing like full circle moments, not just with Cora Jade, but also with Indy Hartwell. So Indy actually got to see CM Punk a couple of years ago, and she posted like what it looks like a selfie. And CM Punk was behind a table, posing, and Indy was in the front, again posing. But they decided to recreate this picture and they switched the roles where Indy is now behind the table and CM Punk is posing. And Indy said, "Okay, I can forgive you, whatever." And I'm just like, this is funny. I love it. I love CM Punk just doing these moments for all these people because again, he is an idol to some of the NXT rosters. So it's like, wow. But I'm just like, I love him. Another thing I love about CM Punk, and now I'm starting to support him. Me, I'm like, and I think I bashed out at him on a couple of episodes ago, but right now I'm like, not only he's having these full circle moments with these people, but there was a video that WWE posted where they were asking wrestlers what is the most slept on move, meaning that what's a move that you haven't seen that they need to do, or basically what's an underrated move. Obviously, CM Punk was the first one to be interviewed, and he mentioned his move, the go to sleep. But I was not mostly paying attention about the move itself. I was mostly paying attention about what CM Punk was wearing. Homeboy was wearing a Sudbury Bulldogs hoodie. And I'm just like, I love a man that supports Letterkenny. If you have not done so, go watch Letterkenny or watch Shorzy on Hulu. You will not be disappointed. But I'm just like, I've seen you like that hoodie. I'm like, so you're a fan? I would love to see you on maybe a Shorzy episode because I think Letterkenny is already at its final season. I'm already sad, but hey, it is what it is. And then lastly, this is kind of like AEW news in a way. Adam Copeland, or also known as Edge, he actually did say that he is likely to retire in maybe 2 years. Maybe. He said, and I quote, "I can do this for a limited time because all is limited. Even though it's been 4 or 5 years back now, it's not like I got another 4 or 5 in front of me. I know I don't. We're looking at like a 2 year window here to be able to get as much as done as I can get done. Tell as many stories as I can." And, I think we got to give Edge a lot of credit, especially right now because he created the Judgment Day. And look where they're at now. Even though Edge is not there, but he created it. He gave this image. He gave basically like the roles for these people that are in there now. And look what they're doing now. And it's like, wow. They really did step it up. And then I think for me, the biggest win is that Alter Bridge now has a song on WWE that's getting played a lot. It's getting more famous for. So it's like, it's a win for both of them. For Edge to say that he's going to retire soon, I mean, it's very understandable. Again, he is at that age. He's already a Hall of Famer. He had a career ending injury. And, I understand that, he's not going to be around for so long when it comes to wrestling. I will love to see him at least behind the scenes doing some stuff. But at AEW, I wouldn't say so. I would, again, I would love to see him at WWE, but, things happen. And he did say he wanted to be at AEW to retire with Christian on the storyline. So we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that whenever he does retire, they don't do him as dirty like how they did on WWE. Because I think his last match was on SmackDown and, he lost. But I'm over here like, really? Like, that's how they're going to, send him off? But it is what it is. I do hope that at least AEW does hopefully the right thing and give him that retirement that he wants. Even though right now that storyline that we're going with him and Christian is not sitting well for me. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that basically wraps up this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. And, again, we had a lot to cover this week. It was a bunch of news, a bunch of, I think it was like the moral of the story was, are you a collector or do you care about your mental health? Kind of. We had like two of those separate topics. But for sure, again, make sure to follow me at my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X, and follow me at Lielers on TikTok. Lielers on TikTok. And of course, again, I like to mention that even though it is our 3 year anniversary, or earlier was our 3 year anniversary, make sure to check out my other platforms that the Thoughts of Lielers is available on. We are available in so many platforms. And again, if you cannot find me, you can also find me on YouTube, of course. And I do have a link tree. Make sure to visit my link tree. That's probably the easiest way for you to find my podcast in those available platforms. It's like a whole list of links that you can find it, and you can also support me, of course, by sending me money. I'm not asking you guys, because I never asked you in my previous episodes to support me. It's optional. You don't have to. Again, this podcast usually pays me by the time it gets played, so there's that. But definitely visit my link tree. Of course, it's on the episode, on the description section. If not, you can more than welcome type it in at linktr.ee/Lielers, of course. And I really hope that you guys did enjoy this, and I will talk to you guys on the next one.